Before I get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mr. FSP proudly presents Fantasy Sports and Politics. That will be me, Mr. FSP, to you. Anyway, with me today is my co-host, JT ATM Money, and we're going to talk about his favorite division. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. What's up?
Okay. Today we're going to talk about his favorite division.
Okay.
Not even his favorite team. Not even his favorite player, Deshaun Watson. The Watt, not JJ Watt, not TJ Watt, but the massage Watt. So we're going to talk about him, but we are going to talk about TJ because he's in the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals, as well as the Baltimore Ravens. We also have to talk about some other things. Gambling. Gambling and the NFL. I wanted to jump on this topic real quick before we get to the divisional information, because division stuff can take a while. But we invite you to come on. If you want to be a part, chime in. Type something in the messages, or, send me a private message saying you want to come on, and give me an email. I'll bring you on. Not a problem. Just be prepared. I ask that you be prepared for what may come back your way, depending on what you say. That's the disclaimer. But a lot of stuff has happened in this past week, JT, when it's involved with gambling. The NFL has suspended yet another set of players. Most notable, the left tackle of the Jacksonville Jaguars, which plays a big role in protecting Trevor Lawrence. Now, to be clear,
But he was for PEDs.
Oh, he was PEDs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was the cornerback, I believe. Oh no, the linebacker that preempted the announcement of being suspended. But damn, that took me off of what I was going to say about Trevor Lawrence and his left tackle. You know what? Stop acting up. Ever since you came in the you've been acting up. But anyway. The point of the matter is the NFL and the Players Association have an agreement. Players can bet on sports, not football or professional football. They cannot bet while in a facility that they work for, nor can coaches or anyone associated with the NFL. Yet, the NFL has major sponsorships with FanDuel, DraftKings, and betting. Paul Tagliabue, who was the commissioner prior to Roger Goodell, he was famously asked the question, would there ever be a franchise in Vegas? And he said, absolutely not. Not while I am, the commissioner. And, funny thing I'm talking about betting, on my TV is what Jerry normally looks at, which is horse racing on FS1. And it just caught my eye real quick. But Paul Tagliabue is not the commissioner. Roger Goodell is. the Raiders moved to Vegas. And the thing about Vegas and the thing about gambling, for instance, where I'm at in Washington State, when the college teams are playing, you cannot bet on any of those college teams when they're playing here. When they're playing in Washington, they will not carry any Washington State, any Washington Huskies, any of those games.
Same in Jersey.
So that's sort of a backstop, so to speak, right? But you can still bet on Seattle, on the Seahawks games, which is interesting, especially when the Seahawks are in the playoffs. It's a lot of craziness. But in the NFL, Calvin Ridley had a leave of absence from the Atlanta Falcons a couple years ago. He placed a bet on a phone at like a restaurant. I don't even know the name of the restaurant. On an app that reports back to the NFL. One of the bets were for Atlanta to win. Not to lose, not to tie, whatever, but to win, along with some other bets. He was not affiliated with the team other than he signed a contract saying, I'm on this team, but there was a leave of absence, whereas he wasn't around the team. He had no activities with the team. He wasn't even in the building, so he knew nothing of what was going on. He gets a year-long suspension. NFL keeps marching on with their partners, making oodles and oodles of money. This year, several players get popped from the Detroit Lions, along with, been up real early, along with several people that work with the Detroit Lions organization. Those employees were promptly fired. Several of those players were cut. One is going to serve a suspension. Well, a couple Washington Commanders get popped. Now, we get, let me back up. Then the Indianapolis players get popped. That person now has been fired, contract terminated. The cornerback, pretty decent cornerback too. And it's like, if you're going to suspend some players for gambling that aren't even gambling on your sport, but they placed a bet in your facility or in the organization's facility, are we saying that you can gamble, but we don't need no dark cloud over our shoulders saying that you placed this bet from inside the building, and even though it wasn't on you, you know some friends that are on the Cleveland Browns. So you placed a bet on the Browns. Is it just to save face? What is your take on the NFL gambling and suspending these players? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, JT, if they can indefinitely suspend a player for performance-enhancing drugs or marijuana, like it did back in the days, even though it was legal in those states when they partook, what's the purpose of suspending these guys now when you have one of your biggest business partners being a gambling organization? What do you think?
They got rules, man. They got parameters that are set within a league.
Yes.
If you're a professional player, an NFL player, or a member of an organization, you cannot bet on the NFL or bet on the NFL or bet period in an NFL facility. And a lot of these, I wouldn't say a lot of them, but a few of them misinterpreted because each one of these guys that are in the NFL, and more likely than anybody who's employed in the NFL, umbrella gets a class on the do's and don'ts if you want to gamble. You can't gamble on a facility. You can't gamble on the NFL, whether it's in the facility or outside the facility. That's the rules. And even if you're in a state like Washington State or like New Jersey, where you can get medicinal marijuana, you can't.
Well, actually, change that rule. Marijuana is okay in the NFL.
What's
They
that?
changed that a couple years ago.
Okay, but
back in the day, it wasn't.
My crux of what I'm talking about is this: they have rules, and I think the NFL does a pretty good chore of telling each and every one of those players exactly what they can and can't do and what the rules are, and so they can't come back and say, "Well, no one ever told me." They document it. More than likely, once you go to one of these classes or seminars or whatever it is, and you're a member in there, sitting in there, if you're within the NFL organization or a player, they document it. Say, "Oh, you were in here, you participated, you were in whatever amount of time they give you, 1 or 2 days or whatever it is, to let you know, hey, you're an NFL player. You got rules just for everyone else, and you got to follow them. If you don't have to follow them, these are the consequences." And all these players, including anybody who's in the NFL organization, have realized now their discretions. So I don't know how many more that's going to get popped. It could be some really important players, man.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you. Let's say
really important players.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. Last thing I'm going to ask you before we move on. Let's say it's
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Now, Pat, I don't know if Pat has a gambling fetish or not. I don't know. Let's say Pat places a bet on the PGA Championship from inside the KC facility. I don't think he's going to be that stupid.
No, I don't think it.
But let's say it is.
Hypothetical. Okay.
Yeah, everything's hypothetical. Because there aren't really any big names doing it other than Calvin Ridley. And we can argue that he's not really a big name. But he's the biggest of the names so far. But let's say Pat does that.
Well.
And does he get the year-long suspension? And here's my thing. If you give the players an indefinite suspension like Josh Gordon, he kept reapplying, kept getting popped, kept reapplying. Now he's in XFL, and he's probably not gonna come back to the NFL. He's older, things of that nature. But do we make the example and say, I don't care what your status is?
Right. That's. Let me put it this way, man. The more and more of these players that get popped for whatever reason, and if the situations are within the facility or outside the facility, whether they betting on NFL or whether they're not betting on the NFL, but they're doing gambling within the facility, the more and more of them that get popped, that's going to be more and more people that are going to realize, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, because the reasons come out there why this person it's public. So it's not like it's a secret, it's public. So these players are looking at various players right now that are getting popped, and there's a lot of them right now, man. I mean, compared to last year, compared to this year, it's quite a few, and the more and more of those players get popped, the more and more the other players are going to realize, well, we can't do this, you can't do that. You stay away from it altogether. You don't have to worry about it. But if it's a main name player, Calvin Calvin Ridley was a name player. He was a name. He wasn't Pat Mahomes' name, but he was a name player, and he got popped for a year. And then you get these other guys, different name players. It doesn't make a difference. I don't care what your status was in the NFL, because the fact is they have to set an example. So if it's a name player, damn right they're going to go after him. Damn right they're going to get the same treatment, because the fact is they want to set a precedent, saying it doesn't make a difference whether you're a Pat Mahomes or the lowest cornerback on the Indianapolis Colts. You're going to get the same treatment.
Okay. Well, we're going to bring in our resident gambler. He's our resident.
Who, you? Oh!
We're going to bring in him.
Hey! Oh, my man.
Q.
Hey,
All I heard was the word gambling.
let me tell you something.
That's affiliate.
Let me tell you something. I love your communist text. I
You know
love
what? We're not talking about that.
I love
What's up, Jerry? That's right. That's right. This guy over here trying to be a dictator.
Yes.
Q,
Yes.
Q, do not start.
He's trying
You're trying to be a dictator, bro.
he's trying to be an authoritarian.
Authoritarian.
Yes.
And no, ladies and gentlemen, we're supposed to talk about the AFC North.
Oh my
But I'm
God.
telling you this
Wow.
conversation is going
Wow.
to devolve into me putting my foot down and saying we're going to do what I'm asking people their opinion on, as opposed
You're trying to mess up a good thing. You're trying to mess up a good thing.
Yeah.
You-
What's up, Jerry? Nice to see you, brother.
You too, my man. How you
Oh,
been?
yeah.
How you been? How you been?
freaking fraud.
I've been working, bro. Working.
And push him aside, man, because
Oh, really?
he's on another planet.
Yes, you're right. Of understanding.
Yeah.
To man, woman, and child. You understand?
Bro, like, hey, Vic, like 2 weeks ago, I started reading that whole thread because I was behind. I couldn't believe it, bro. I was about to have a heart attack. I was so angry.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
I don't even know where you get these crazy ideas from, bro.
Hey,
Hold on.
let me tell you something. You
Hey, no,
you
we're not
have to
talking about that right now.
you have
We can talk about that after we do the division breakdown.
you haven't
'Cause
been
like I
privy
said, that
to
can,
the
that can
off-air
cause a
comments.
long day.
You
So,
haven't been privy to
Jerry?
the off-air conversation.
Jerry,
Oh man.
Jerry, let's get to the breakdown.
No
We can
problem.
talk about the league after the breakdown.
No problem. I'm ready. I'm pumped
See.
up. This is the
You
best
see what you done caused, Q? You
Best-
see what you done caused? You
best
see, he was already being negative
Best-
Nancy
best
before the show.
conference in the
Hey,
NFL.
bro, I agree with Jerry. That's all I got to say.
Well, that says a lot. That says a lot. But
Where there's only two smart people on this screen, and you ain't one of them.
I'm hyper intelligent. Intelligent.
In your own
Yeah.
mind. In your own mind.
No. I am
Yeah.
just that great.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Okay.
here's what we're gonna do. Because Jerry got excuses after excuses after excuses, I decided I was gonna put the Cleveland Browns first, only because Jerry's talking about he gotta leave out here early. But now that you're here, Q, he probably not gonna want to leave early because he don't want to probably commiserate about how I'm trying to ruin the league.
Yeah,
But it's
you are.
my league. But let's talk about the Cleveland Browns.
It is your league, but that don't mean you ain't trying to ruin it.
I'm not trying to ruin the league. All right. Here we go. Here we go.
You don't get it, but that's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share with you the Cleveland Browns have been a disappointment. Not from the standpoint of effort, but a disappointment in what they have yet to achieve. So I'm going to preface my breakdown of the Cleveland Browns with this. Kevin Stefanski, I believe, is on the hot seat. I really believe he's on the hot seat. He was brought in to fix Baker, couldn't fix Baker, shipped Baker away. Changed the offense up, did what he needed to do, worked with what he had, didn't have a great year. They go out after they get rid of Baker, sign Deshaun Watson. That's not on Stefanski. That's on the general manager and the ownership. But the person that has to coach him and get the best out of him is the head coach. With that being said, Cleveland has woefully underachieved. I'm going to give you some stats. And I couldn't believe them when I first saw them. But then I thought about it and I believed them. Last year, the first 10 games, Cleveland was ranked in the top 12 offensively. Top 12. Total offense with Jacoby Brissett. Last 7 games of the season, when Deshaun took over, 26th. They dropped 14 spots. Regardless of, layoff, whatever, there was a spring, there was a OTAs, there were things to help Watson get acquainted with his players. Granted, he was not allowed in the facility and around the organization during the first 10 days of first 10 weeks of the suspension. But prior to that, he looked pretty bad. Okay, he had a year and a half off. Okay. But this year has got to be it. Why? His contract is fully guaranteed. Defensive players have been paid as well. Not all, but your keys. Myles Garrett, Denzel Washington. No, I'm sorry. Not Denzel Washington.
Oh, my God.
The cornerback Denzel, I forgot his last name.
Denzel Ward, man. Denzel
Well,
Ward.
I know it was a W. I knew it was a W.
Denzel Ward. Jeez.
Okay, Denzel Ward. They've been paid as well. Kareem Hunt has been released. There's talk that Kareem Hunt might be brought back. But here's the problem. Will Kevin Stefanski find the best thing out of that offense? They paid Njoku their tight end. Donovan Peoples-Jones is their number 2. It does not look like Hopkins is coming to Cleveland. Because honestly, I think if Hopkins, Cooper, and Peoples were there, it could be the young and the restless when Cincinnati plays Cleveland. Because the young is Cincinnati. The restless would be Cleveland, quite honestly. Because you got the old heads and the young heads battling out for supremacy at the receiving position. I would argue that Joe Burrow is better than Deshaun Watson, and not too many people are going to debate that. Joe Burrow, short little bit of time, he's done a lot on a franchise that was miring in garbage. We'll get to Cincinnati shortly thereafter. We finish Cleveland. The Browns need to win a playoff game. Not just make the playoffs. Not just make the playoffs. They need to win a playoff game because the fan base has hope. And I'm going to use something JT provided and showed me last Sunday. There's a whole hype video. I think it's 7 minutes, Jerry, of Nick Chubb talking about he's tired of losing. Mediocrity isn't what we're here for. The organization will not put up with less than a champion. They won a championship, but less than a playoff win to show the fans that the money they're paying him, the money they're paying Ward, the money they're paying Njoku, the money they're paying Myles Garrett is going to be more than a 7-10 record. Now, when we go over this schedule, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I honestly believe the AFC North is one of the toughest divisions in football. The style of play they have, and when they got to play each other. Not to mention the people outside. So, with that being said, Q, and I'm going to say it for last, Jerry, give a brief synopsis of your thoughts on Cleveland.
I think, honestly, that's the best division in football this year. And the only way that I see Cleveland making the playoffs is if Deshaun Watson plays at an MVP level, because their schedule is brutal, bro. It's just brutal.
Exactly.
You know, and honestly, like, I think the Steelers are going to be good this year. All the teams in that division are going to be good. But that's the only way they can make the playoffs if Deshaun Watson plays at the level he was playing at before all this mess started with him. Because we forget that he could be an MVP, you know? So if he gets back to that, he's a dog. He could be a dog. And he could push that team into the playoffs. But me personally, I think they're gonna end up last in that division. But
I agree.
All right.
I'm sorry, Jerry.
He's
I'm
not
I'm sorry, Jerry.
That's
sorry.
okay. That's okay. That's
Let
all right.
the man finish.
Let me speak, because I'm going to enlighten you
Let
guys.
him finish. Are you finished, Q?
I'm going to enlighten you
I'm
guys.
finished.
Are
I'm
you
gonna
finished, Q?
I'm finished.
Okay.
Can I speak? Can I speak?
I was making sure he was done.
I'm going to enlighten you guys. For the last two
There it is.
seasons,
Here comes the homer.
wait a minute. So here we go. For the last two seasons, the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals have split. In 2020, 2019, I forget, the Cleveland Browns swept the Cincinnati Bengals. So when you say, yes, they did, I looked at the record. I just looked at it.
No one said they didn't do it.
What I'm saying,
to do anything.
what I'm saying is, if you think Cincinnati is such a juggernaut in the division, you're sadly mistaken. They have, the Cleveland Browns, in my opinion, have a they got a better wide receiving core than the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, without a shadow of doubt, in my mind. They got a better wide receivers in those two than those two games. Those two teams. They got Elijah Moore. Don't discount him. Trust me, you'll find out. If I get a chance, if you guys are in the division, in the league, I'm picking up Elijah Moore, guaranteed. Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, 1,000-yard receiver with just as comparable touchdowns as Terry McLaurin. And so what I'm saying is this: they have a very good running, one of the best runners in the AFC and the NFL. Let me put it that way. They have a very good offensive line with a very good quarterback that has a point to prove, and it's going to wreak havoc on that division. It's going to be a very competitive division, but they have a better offensive line than any of those teams in that division. Better offensive line than any of those teams in that division. A better runner than any of the teams in that division. So it falls on the quarterback and the wide receivers, and I think the wide receiving core is better than any of those two teams I talked about, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. So that leaves.
Well, that's what I said right now. I said unless Deshaun Watson plays at an MVP level, if he does, I think they'll be better than Cincinnati. But that's the only if, because
well,
out of those four teams, they have the worst defense. I'll tell you that. All the other three teams have a better defense than Cleveland does.
Cleveland.
So
what?
Wait.
Of course.
Time out.
Cincinnati doesn't have a better defense. Damn sure.
Time out. So I'm gonna address something, and then I'll let you two talk about defense, because I disagree with you, Q. I disagree with you, but
ain't the first one.
But I think it's an interesting debate, because I actually think Cleveland has they're better than Cincinnati's defense. Are they better than Baltimore? Last year's, yes. This year, I don't know. They're not better than Pittsburgh, so I'll give you that. But what I'm going to address is this. Jerry, You have your opinion. You are welcome to your opinion. And if you're going to compare your top three, Moore, Peoples, and Cooper, to Pickens, Washington, and I forgot my man's name, who the third receiver is in Pittsburgh. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. It's not that I don't remember. I had it on the tip of my tongue. I just forgot it because I was letting y'all talk. You're mistaken.
That says
Odell Beckham Jr., Flowers, and what's my man?
OBJ? Come on, man.
That was in Philly. That's now there.
Sean Bateman, who can't.
Bateman and Aguilar.
You got two receivers that can't stay healthy.
I will say that those receivers are comparable to Baltimore's receivers.
They can't stay healthy.
They're not better. They're not better than Cincinnati, who you didn't mention. And I would debate you about them being better than Pittsburgh's. But I'm going to let you guys talk about the defense because I agree with you, Jerry, that the defense of Cleveland is better than Cincinnati. And depending on what Baltimore defense shows up, could be better than Baltimore's. But I'm going to let that be the last conversation on that before we talk about the schedule. So y'all can debate that. Q, why do you think Cleveland has the worst defense in the division?
Cincinnati has pretty much almost everybody coming back from last year.
Except there are two starting safeties, which is very important. They left. That's very important. But go ahead.
And added a pass rusher.
Yeah, but I think based on how I'm going based off of how Cincy's defense played last year, the points per game, they were in the middle of the pack. Okay. And then since Cleveland's defense wasn't that great on points per game last year.
Correct.
I mean, they have those two good cornerbacks, but still, they still got the ball thrown on them and everything. I'm saying the only way I see Cleveland making the playoffs is if Deshaun Watson plays at an MVP level. Other than that, I think they're gonna finish last in that division.
Well, let me. Well, I'm gonna retort with that. But
I love Deshaun Watson too, by the way. So I'm just saying.
Let me put it this way: Joe Burrow has to play at an MVP level. Lamar Jackson has to play at MVP level, and we know Kenny Pickett's not going to be at that level. So you're talking about
Kenny Pickett's going to be a baller this year, bro.
I think so too.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck with that. Okay. I want to see one of you two draft them into one of your teams in our league.
Hey, I might.
Please. I mean, if Vic forces us to do two QBs, I will try to draft him.
yes, it's going to.
Please do.
It's going to happen.
Hey, let me put it this way. Please do. Please. Because you're going to be thoroughly disappointed. Everybody's got high expectations because of Kenny Pickett. He hasn't proved it yet. These other three quarterbacks have proved what they can do. Kenny Pickett hasn't. So
what are you talking about? He won like 6 out of his last 8 games last year, bro. And he's only gonna get better.
And with an offensive line that was not that good, but improved as they went on. And they added another piece this year. Okay. All right, let's not talk about Pittsburgh right now. We're on Cleveland. We got our thoughts out about Cleveland. Now, let's get to this schedule. Opening up week 1 versus who they? Now, we didn't talk about Burrow, and we didn't talk about that. It's at Cleveland. Cincinnati's going to win this. It's, to me.
I'm sorry. Me, history tells me that ain't happening. History tells me that ain't happening.
What?
History tells me in 2020, Cleveland swept Cincinnati. In 2021 and 2022, they split. Home and home, they won. Okay. History. So three seasons, Cleveland has beat Cincinnati. They give them fits. They give him fits at home. They give him fits on the road too. It's just Ohio. It's Ohio. And go ahead. You go ahead and say it. I'm thinking they're going to split. And with any of the division teams, they're going to split. That's how I feel about this.
I'm asking for the first game, bro. I ain't asking for the series. I just need the first game.
I'm taking Cleveland. No problem.
Okay, all right. Because I have them splitting as well, but I'm not getting all emotional about it because you're invested. You are invested in your team, so you're getting really emotional. I don't mean. We'll save that for later. Jeez. Q, who you got?
The game's in Cleveland, right?
Yes.
Yes. I think Cleveland's gonna have more motivation in week 1, and they're gonna. I don't think Cincinnati's gonna be as desperate as Cleveland is to win that game. Cincinnati has a history of starting off slow too in the beginning of the season, so I'm gonna go with Cleveland on that one. I think it's gonna mean more to Cleveland to win that game.
Okay. And just for the record, Cincinnati is favored by plus 125 to win the division. The biggest dog is Cleveland at plus 385 to win a division. I believe it's 385 or it's four something. Just for clarity, folks. Then week 2, Monday night at Pittsburgh. Talk to me, Q. What you got?
I love Pittsburgh on this one, bro. I think it's gonna be a coming out party for Kenny Pickett on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that defense is going to sack Deshaun Watson like 4 or 5 times. I like Pittsburgh winning that game.
JT?
Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith are going to introduce themselves to Kenny Pickett. They're going to introduce themselves to Kenny Pickett. And he's going
Hey, Jerry, I just wondered, is Cleveland going undefeated this year or what? Just tell me now.
No, they're not going to go undefeated. But you got a second year player. I know he's playing at home, but that Cleveland pass rush is coming. And can he sustain it or no? That's the question. I'm taking Cleveland.
Okay, you take Cleveland. I'm kind of torn in this game, mainly because I don't think it's going to be a passing game. I think it's going to be a classic AFC North game, Chubb versus Harris. So I don't care about Zadarius Smith or Myles Garrett because I'm Pittsburgh. I know I got the home field advantage. I'm going to grind the clock, protect my young quarterback in his second year. And you can pretty much say Deshaun's in his second year because second year in the system or a year and a half in the system. And we'll see how he looks in preseason and how he looks at OTAs. Because last year, during preseason and OTAs, he looked like hot garbage.
I'm glad you said that.
Hot garbage. But I'm gonna go against the grain and say that Cleveland's gonna win this game because I think Chubb is gonna have probably close to 150 on the ground.
Okay.
Only because Pittsburgh decides to play the game of run first. And they're not going to be able to unleash TJ Watt and the young rookie to meet at, Watson. So it is what it is, but I'm going to go with Cleveland on this.
Okay.
Next game.
Home against
You picking Cleveland?
Say again?
You picking Cleveland?
Yeah, I'll pick Cleveland on that one.
Home against Tennessee.
Home against Tennessee. I'll say Jerry knows I don't like Tennessee at all this year, other than fantasy value in the King. So I'm going to give this one to Cleveland, but it's going to get real nasty after this week. Real nasty. I think Cleveland is a more complete team than Tennessee at this moment. Who you got, JT, then Q?
You talking to who?
I said, who you got, JT, then Q.
I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. I'm going with Cleveland.
Okay, Q.
I tell you, it's 17-0 right there.
I know. You gonna have 16-1 or 15-2.
No.
Woo!
You'll find out.
I think that's with you, Jerry. I like Cleveland in this game. I think it's gonna be a horrible, low-scoring game, though. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be like a 20-17, 20-14 game.
yeah.
Well,
I think
I agree with you, but this team is going to probably average close to 24 points a game. I'm talking about Cleveland.
no.
Maybe not in this game, but I'm saying they're going to
They're
average.
not gonna average 24 points a game this year.
Okay.
Do you know what the highest average last year was, and who was by? It was 29 points or 28 point something, and that was by Kansas City. Cleveland's offense ain't nowhere near as dynamic.
It doesn't have to be.
Full.
It doesn't have to be.
I got it, but to put up 4 touchdowns a game, you're saying they're going to average, maybe not that game, they're going to average 28 points a game.
They're going to average. I think they're going to average.
I got, you know what, Jerry? I got $100 on that.
I said they're going to average about 24 points a game. I didn't say exactly 24 points. I said about 24 points. 24 points, it's a nice range. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Bro, I don't need a range. I need a solid number.
Home against Baltimore.
No. Oh, you just gonna skip the offer that's out there?
We already picked wins and losses. Let's go to Baltimore.
Oh, well, since you're not gonna back up your 24-point brag, Baltimore's gonna whip that ass. Here's what I see happening in that game. I see Lamar getting loose and finding Odell Beckham. I see him finding Bateman. I see him finding. I think honestly, and this goes to what Q was saying about the defense. Cleveland thinks that Lamar's going to run a lot, so they're going to try to brack him. So I think we've all played football. So when you have your ends, they're playing containment. They're not rushing the quarterback to get to the quarterback. They're rushing to contain him, which is going to slow down Zadarius as well as Miles. And that's going to give Lamar time. And I think he's going to torch Cleveland. Baltimore's going to win this game. So
okay.
Go ahead, JT, then Q.
I have Cleveland winning this game.
Oh, you're right, Q. You're right.
Hey, look, I didn't interrupt you when you were talking. Let me. I didn't interrupt you when you were talking.
And you stop catching feelings. All I did was say you're right, Q.
Anyway.
And you don't be clapping. You ain't saying that in the Q. Yeah, bias, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Q.
You see? Go ahead, man.
That's all good, Jerry. We know you love your Browns. It's all good. I wasn't wrong about the 17-0 though.
He picked Cleveland. But I see he ain't saying nothing to you. But that's okay. That's okay. Who you got, Q?
I think Baltimore is going to win this game. I think. I told you. Hey, bro, I told you from the beginning, I think they're going to finish last in this division, bro. What you want me to tell you?
No problem.
So, I think Baltimore is going to win this game.
Yeah.
Honestly, Vic, you were right. I think Lamar is going to throw a lot this year. And I remember when I watched him in college, bro, he used to throw some bombs. He threw so much. I don't know why he doesn't throw so much in the NFL, but anyway, I think he's a good passer. So, but yeah.
Okay.
I like Baltimore.
I don't because in college, receivers are so wide open, he throws it when they're open. I don't think Lamar has the ability to really anticipate when to throw the ball to the receiver on the outside. That's just my opinion on that. But they go to the bye week. Thank goodness. But that's bad for Cleveland because you got a bye week after the 5th week of the season. It's going to be rough because you come back and you got to face the San Francisco 49ers.
At home.
I'm definitely picking the 49ers in this game. Who you got, Q's and JT?
I don't even know if I want to answer that. I got the 49ers. I got the 49ers whipping up on them in this game. That's all I got to say.
Is it my turn yet? Tell me.
Yes,
Okay.
that's it. I said that's all I got.
No problem. All right, I'm picking the 49ers in this game. But it ain't going to be easy. I just picked the 49ers to win the game, and you bring up and you bring up 17-0. I picked the 49ers.
Yeah, the only reason you're picking the 49ers is so I won't be right about my 17-0. You know you wanted to pick the Browns.
But I'm gonna put this but in here. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be, and that's going to be a big problem for the 49ers. Obviously, you saw what happened last year when the quarterback position was in flux. So when it's in flux, you don't know who the quarterback's going to be, or a healthy quarterback. I wouldn't be remiss in picking the Browns, but I'm picking the 49ers, thinking that there's going to be at least one quarterback that's capable of running the offense. So I'm picking the 49ers.
On that, I can understand why you said that. I really do. For me, I think it's going to be Sam Darnold until Purdy gets healthy enough to play. They say he's going to be ready week 1, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be Sam Darnold. And with that offense, I think they're going to win. But the reprieve comes, and it's really not a reprieve. But I'm interested in seeing what JT's going to say about this, because if his boy starts, Richardson, for the Colts, I'm interested in seeing what he's going to say. But the Colts, Cleveland goes to Indianapolis. I'm going to pick Cleveland in this game only because if it's Richardson, they don't stand a chance. If it's Minshew, I might change my mind. But right now I'm going to go with Cleveland. JT.
I'm picking the Cleveland Browns. But it won't be easy because Deshaun Watson has played against the Indianapolis Colts when he was a Houston Texans, and they've always had big battles going against each other in the going against their division opponents. So it ain't going to be easy, but I'm picking the Cleveland Browns to pull this out.
And just so you see, Chris is responding to you. He said, when the 49ers ever had a quarterback? Yet they keep winning. So
They didn't win against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they had no quarterback. So come on, man, you got to be realistic. You got to call it as it is. You call it.
Come on, Jerry. That statement was good. Come on.
In the middle of the two quarterbacks got injured in the middle of the game, dude.
Okay,
I'll tell you, Jerry. I'll tell you, if Brock Purdy wouldn't have got hurt, 49ers would have won that game, bro.
That's the breaks of the game. That's the breaks of the game. Oh well. Hey, you're a 49er fan, and you're crying about we lost two quarterbacks and we lost.
I'm not a 49ers fan. I hate the 49ers.
I didn't say you were. I said if you're a 49ers fan, I'm not calling any of you a 49ers fan. I said if you're a 49ers fan and you're crying about the game, that's the breaks of the game. It happens. Oh well. You say.
I hope Deshaun don't get hurt.
If we had a quarterback, if we had a quarterback, we would have beat the Eagles. Okay, but you didn't. Okay, breaks of the game. It happens. Shit happens.
Stuff happens. Stuff happens.
Whatever. It breaks of the game. Breaks of the game.
Yeah, into his feelings on
That's just like last season's finale. Breaks of the game.
Oh,
just like last season's championship finale.
He's going to win the championship.
Breaks of the game. You can't.
Okay. At least I made it there.
You're right. But
But let's continue. This ain't about the league.
But this is the difference. I would have cried about if.
Let's talk Seattle. They go to Seattle week 8. Now here's the deal. I can't.
I know, but you didn't ask me anyways about the coach, but I think they're gonna get whooped. No, it's okay. I think Cleveland's gonna.
Prediction. Go ahead. Who you
I
got?
think Cleveland's gonna whoop them regardless if it's Richardson or Minshew or fucking or anybody else. I think the Colts are gonna suck this year.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm very interested in what JT has to say about the next game, so I'm gonna let him give his prediction first because he has such a man crush on this team, and I really believe JT's gonna be a homer.
You have no idea.
I said go first.
You know what? You know what assume means, right? You know what assume does? That's what you're assuming. Okay.
Go ahead. I said you're first. I said you're first, Jerry.
I'm first? Okay.
Oh my God.
Let me. I thought you said Q and then me, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah, that like 10 minutes ago.
I think it's a 10-year record, if I'm not mistaken. Over the last 10 years, I think it's happened since 1980 something, if I'm not mistaken. Cleveland has got a horrible record against the Seattle Seahawks. Horrible record against the Seattle Seahawks. And this is played in Seattle. I'm picking Seattle to win this game. So I'm being realistic. Hello. I'm being realistic.
Okay. I'm picking Seattle to win the game too. Because Seattle, in my opinion, is better. And it's in Seattle. Q, before I let you go, I'm going to read what Chris said.
I'm going with Cleveland in this game. I think this is going to be a shootout game, and then I think this is a game where Deshaun Watson throws like 4 touchdowns.
You like Cleveland in this game?
Yes, I like Cleveland in that game.
Okay.
That made him happy, Q. You hear that? That made him happy.
No.
All right.
I'm just
No, he loves Geno. Come on.
I love Geno even more this year.
You would die a happy man if Geno signed with Cleveland.
No, he wouldn't, because then he got to compete with his baby Deshaun. Because
I love Geno Smith. You guys are you underestimated Geno, and he's one of the best quarterbacks, comeback player of the year. Come on, man.
Oh hell no! He's not even top 15 for me, bro. Come on.
Not at all.
That's fine. He wasn't last year, and look what he did. Hello. I tried to tell you. Look at all the defenses he played against, bro. Come on. I tried to tell you guys. Hey, it doesn't make a difference.
Of course it makes a difference. What do you mean it doesn't make a difference, bro? He played against the defenses that would allow the most points. Come on, man.
Every season is different. And since I saw Geno and his schedule, you guys didn't see it. I saw it. Geno was going to ball out. Hello.
And you're saying ball out this year. So
ball out this
year. We'll cross that bridge when we get to the AFC West. The NFC West. But right now, we're talking about a different team in the NFC West, the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona's going to suck.
Now, I have no idea what's going to happen with Arizona, but I think they're going to be picking in the top 3 this year. So I think Cleveland, especially at home, is going to demolish the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler should not be back by then, and it wouldn't even make a difference because Kyler really has nobody to throw the ball to, and that defense is not that good, and Buddha wants out. If Buddha leaves, Arizona's just going to be trash. Just going to put it that way. But yeah, I'm picking Cleveland in this game. Q, then Jerry.
I like Cleveland. I mean, what else can you say? Honestly, I think Arizona and my Raiders are going to be the worst 2 records in the league this year. So we'll see.
What? Is it on me now?
What?
Playing at home, this is probably going to be one of the easiest games that Cleveland has. I'm picking them to win.
Okay. At Baltimore, they are going to get swept by Baltimore. In the bank. I originally was going to pick a split, but I decided against it because I think week 10, I believe this is week 10. Yeah, week 10. Baltimore's fighting for a playoff spot. Cleveland is fighting to be relevant. If you remember what I said at the top of the show about Cleveland, Kevin Stefanski is fighting for his job. And I think it may or may not happen, but I think Kevin Stefanski is going to have a losing season this year, just like what Q said. And this game is going to be the one where it's like, what the heck happened? How did Baltimore sweep us, much less blow us out? I think it's going to be a blowout. Baltimore, JT, then Q.
I have I told you earlier that I had in the division, these teams are going to split, and this is the split. They lost to Baltimore. In my opinion, they win to Baltimore. They win to Baltimore at home, and they lose to Baltimore on the road. This is the loss.
All right, you called it a loss, Q. Go ahead. They can't be said. He already gave him 2 losses. But we're going to how many losses he gave. He only gave him 2 so far. But Q, go ahead.
3 losses so far.
Who are the 3 losses?
They lost. They lose to San Francisco. They lose to Seattle, and they lose to Baltimore. That's 3 losses.
All right, you're right. Go ahead, Q.
I like Baltimore to win this game, especially at home. I think Lamar is gonna ball out this year, and I think he's gonna play good against Cleveland. Everybody in his division, he's gonna play really good against. So I like Baltimore in this game.
All right.
I honestly think Odell Beckham's gonna have a good year this year, bro.
I think so too. Remarkably, because I've been seeing and hearing some things. All right. I mean, they're holding them out, but
I mean, they're still gonna double team the tight end, so he's gonna be 1-on-1 most of the time, bro.
Exactly.
Most of the time, they're still gonna double.
Exactly. I agree. I totally agree. He's gonna have no choice but to throw it to Odell. But I digress. Home for Pittsburgh. Let's go with Jerry.
They win in Pittsburgh. They win home. They win. Okay? They win.
Q.
I like Pittsburgh in this game.
Me too. I got Pittsburgh as well.
Okay. No problem.
Just in case they forgot who TJ Watt was, he's gonna reintroduce himself again.
Exactly.
What you forget about the Darius Smith and Myles Garrett? Okay, that's 2 hell of a bookends going against that offense in Pittsburgh. Okay, no problem. And they're playing at home, but that's okay.
I said they were going to split. I already said they were going to split, and this is the split. So, moving on. Let's ride. Broncos Nation. Let's ride. Sean Payton and company put little Deshaun somewhere in the back and tells Cleveland, y'all ain't ready. I really love Sean Payton and his philosophy and what he's instilled, the fear in Russell. Denver's going to rock their world. I see Denver winning by at least 10 in this game.
Okay.
Q, then JT.
I like Cleveland in this game. I like Cleveland because I think this is a personal game for Myles Garrett because he doesn't like Russell Wilson.
Well, first time I hear this. Why doesn't he like Russell Wilson?
Well, from 2 years ago, he put out this tweet like dogging Russell Wilson and stuff and everything when he was over there in Seattle. But anyways, I think this is gonna be a Cleveland game, and I'm not sold on Russell Wilson like everybody else is, especially you, Big.
Whatever.
He's gonna have to prove it to me. Like honestly, I'm not sold on Russell, but whatever, we'll see.
I got you. I mean, it's in Denver, but we will see. JT.
I think Denver's going to win this game. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. Well, you asked for what I thought, and I'm thinking Denver's going to win the game. That's
Bro, calm down. All right, at the Rams. Interesting game. I'm saying it's interesting because we don't know what the Rams are going to be. We don't. Matthew Stafford's returning. Cooper Kupp, who I believe is going to be a top fantasy guy, is returning. Cam Akers is running back. They also re-signed Tony Michelle. Excuse me. Tyler Higbee's still there. Will Van Jefferson step up and be that number 2? Cleveland, at this point, this is week 13. Cleveland is really trying to fight. They're really trying to fight. The problem is, it's in LA. I gotta go with the Rams. JT.
I'm going with Cleveland. This one, I mean, I can't go with the unknown. I don't even know if Matthew Stafford's going to be standing up by week 13. So
Good point.
I'm taking Cleveland to win this game, and it's right here in LA,
Yeah, I know.
right? But there's a lot of Cleveland fans, like people from Cleveland that live out here in LA. So it's gonna be like 60% Cleveland fans. So
Okay. JT.
I'm taking Cleveland. Playing at home.
No, it's in LA, bro.
They're playing the Rams at home, right?
In LA.
I'm still picking Cleveland.
Hey, hope you resign, Q.
Hey, let me explain something to you. His
go ahead.
record is going to be close to mine. Let me tell you that because I'm looking at it right now. His record is going to be close to mine, and you're going to be surprised. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Jacksonville. They're home for Jacksonville. Listen, I think Jacksonville is right now. I'm saying right now because I don't know what additions that Cleveland may get between now and then, but Jacksonville should smoke them. Jacksonville should smoke them. I'm going to pick Jacksonville. JT then Q.
Let me tell you something. Trevor Lawrence had an issue with a pass rush. He has an issue with the pass rush. He's missed a turnover. I don't care what happened in the Chargers. Chargers blew that game. He has an issue with a pass rush, and there's going to be a pass rush in Cleveland, and he's on the road. The Jaguars play better at home than they do on the road. I like Cleveland in this game.
Q.
Well, I don't know what the weather's gonna be like around that time in Cleveland, but if it's a snowy, rainy day, I like Cleveland. But if it's a regular day, I think Jacksonville is gonna win. But I'm picking Jacksonville because I think they're a top 5 team this year, and I just think they got too much on offense for Cleveland.
Yeah, it's December 12th at 1 p.m.
So you like?
So unless the weather is really bad that day, I don't think it's. I think it's going to be a more even playing field as long as it's not snowing. A 1 p.m. game versus a 4 or 7 or 8 p.m. game is a huge difference coming off that bay, off the Cleveland waterfront, whatever it is. So I really think that you're right on that, Q. Depending on the weather, that could play a big difference in that game.
So you like Jacksonville in this game? I just want to get clear.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be a nice day.
Okay.
So yeah, Jacksonville.
Okay.
The only way Cleveland wins this game is if it's a snowy game and they run the ball.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Then we have Chicago coming to town. So, Q, you up first.
I like Cleveland. And that's it.
Okay.
I'm going to do it, Jerry.
I like Cleveland in this game. I don't think Jacksonville can. I don't see Chicago can keep up with this. I don't think they can keep up.
I'm going to pick Cleveland as well. I hope Chicago improves, but I'm not certain that they're going to be able to improve to that point where Nick Chubb is going. Well, hold on. I just know about the linebackers. But that defensive line is that defensive line. Yeah, I got to go with Cleveland because until the Bears fix the middle of their defensive line, it doesn't matter who your linebackers are because they got to get past the guard that's going to block them. So I got to go with Cleveland. All right, here we go.
At Houston.
Yes, I'm getting there, brother. Calm yourself. This would be a heart-wrenching game for JT, but it's what time is this game? Well, it don't matter. It's in Houston. I like D'Amico Ryans. I just don't know what Houston's going to be with CJ Stroud. This is a revenge game, so to speak, for Deshaun at Houston because I believe Houston went to Cleveland last year. And Deshaun is now going to go back to the place that he called home.
Come on, man. Come on. This is
Hey, come on. I didn't rush you. It's tough. It's really going to be tough. Because I don't know what Stroud's going to be. I'm going to say that. I don't know what Stroud's going to be. I got to go with Cleveland. All right, Q, JT.
It's not that hard. I like Cleveland in this game. I think it'll be a rout.
Yep.
I don't think.
I don't know it's gonna be a rout.
You know, of course. I don't like defensive minded coaches being head coaches. Me myself personally, but I think it's gonna be a rout. I like Cleveland.
I like Cleveland. I like Cleveland.
Okay, all right.
You take forever, but I take a little bit pause, and then you got an issue with it, but that's okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
We know the order, right? And Q finished. And I'm just saying.
We're doing this
Bro.
We've been doing this one team for 40 minutes, man.
Yeah, because somebody wants to love their team so much. All right. Oh, they're going to get mollywop. The Jets come in. Oh, 2 back-to-back games that Jerry should love. And this is wait a minute. This is a Thursday night game. Ooh, at the end of December. Ooh. I think the Jets would have locked up their playoff spot by this time. But, oh, my God, it's a night game in Cleveland. Ooh, this is going to be – all right. If Aaron Rodgers ain't playing, Cleveland gets this. So I'm going to say Cleveland on this game only because I don't think Rodgers is going to play. It's in Cleveland, a night game at the end of December, and the weather's going to be somewhat bad. I got to go with Cleveland. Not that I want to, but I got to. All right, JT, then Q.
I'm going to tell you this. Deshaun Watson doesn't play well. As it gets colder, Deshaun Watson doesn't play that as good as he would earlier in the season. I'm giving this game to the Jets. Yeah. I'm being impartial. Trust me.
No, you have nostalgia. You have nostalgia.
I'm being
to the Jets.
I'm being realistic.
Okay, I'm taking the Jets. Go ahead, Q.
I'm taking Cleveland in this game.
Okay. And last game of the season at Cincinnati.
Hold on, can I run my show, bro? The brother wasn't finished.
You
was saying something.
You took the Jets. What's he talking about?
I said Q wasn't finished talking. Let him finish. You were saying something about Cleveland.
You started. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. This isn't for no reason.
I I like Cleveland in this game. I like Cleveland. I think this is a game that the running back balls out for like 200 yards. So I like Cleveland.
200 yards rushing or 200 yards passing?
No, rushing. The running back.
Oh, I thought you said the quarterback.
No, I meant the running back.
Okay. All right. I was like, woo, you saying Deshaun
Nah,
was that's crazy.
nah.
Okay. All right. Hey. I mean, things happen. Last game of the season is gonna be it could be flexed depending on how good Cleveland is. And we'll find out by our records in a second. I know what Jerry said about them splitting the last year, and then Cleveland swept them the year before that. I'm interested in knowing the 10-year, not just a 2-year, but 10-year poll on that because I don't know it. But I got Cincinnati winning this. I think Cincinnati is winning the division probably a week before this, but that game is going to decide if they're the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed. So I got Cincinnati winning this game. All right, JT. Look at it.
I got. Well, I'm taking it as long as you. I'm just not talking and saying anything.
Oh my God!
I got the Cincinnati Bengals winning this game. I said that the division is going to split, and this is the split. They won the first game at home, and the last game is again at Cincinnati. They lose.
All right.
I like Cincinnati because, like I said earlier, I think Cincinnati starts the season slow, but they always play really good at the end. So I like Cincinnati to win this game. This is gonna have like a number 1, number 2, number 3 seed on this game. So yeah, I like Cincinnati.
Definitely agree with you on that. And JT is totaling up the records right now. He says that you and he will have very close records, but you say that Cleveland is going to finish last. JT, I don't know if he thinks they're going to finish first, but let's see what the total is. JT.
I have Cleveland at 10-7. Vic has them at 8-9. Cube has him 11-6.
That definitely ain't last, Q.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I'm looking at what you said, and I'm counting them up. I told you you're going to be surprised. You're going to be
maybe 6-11, not 11-6.
No. You have them at 11-6. I counted every one of the wins that you have down, and it came out to 11.
Wow.
Hey, I told you when halfway through the season, I told you you're going to be surprised how close you are to me.
That's just because I like Deshaun Watson, and I have some faith.
Okay.
Right. But if you do remember at the beginning of all this, I said if Deshaun Watson balls out, they're going to be good. But whatever, I didn't think I picked them for 11 wins. But
like I said, okay. You're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised. And I was realistic, I think, about my picks. 10-7 is realistic, in my opinion. 11-6, I'm not sure. But 10-7 is realistic, in my opinion. I could be a game or two off, but 10-7 is realistic. And they're not the best in the division. But this division is going to be so competitive that I even gave them losing to their division opponents at least once in this season. That's 10-7 against the non-division opponents. So what can I tell you? They're going to lose to Pittsburgh once, Cincinnati once, and Baltimore once. That's how I think. I don't think any of these teams are going to sweep anybody in the division.
I don't even see how I picked them for 11 wins. What the hell?
Wait, you want me? Look, you picked.
Go down his picks. Go down all his picks.
I'm gonna go down his picks, and then if I'm wrong, he can correct me.
Exactly.
Cincinnati at home, you picked them to win. At Pittsburgh, you picked them to lose. Tennessee, you picked them to win. Home against Baltimore, you picked them to lose. San Francisco, you picked them to lose. At Indianapolis, win. At Seattle, win. Home against Arizona, win. At Baltimore, you said win.
No.
Okay.
I didn't say they were going to win.
Lamar
Okay.
was going to ball
I
out
thought,
in
I
that
thought you
game.
said they were going to split, but
No,
okay.
No.
he said
Okay,
Lamar was going to ball out.
that only makes it the 10-7. Okay. Hold on. Home against Pittsburgh, you said they were going to lose. At Denver, you said they were going to win. You said I like against Denver. The Rams, you said they were going to win. Against the Jaguars, you said they were going to lose. Chicago was a win. Houston is a win. The Jets is a win. And Cincinnati is a loss. That's 10-7, Q.
Okay. I go with the 10-7.
You got that one, Jerry.
I told you halfway through the season. I said you're going to be surprised at what you're going to be picking.
Well, I got them 8-9.
Yeah.
One game better than last year, but still in last place. Just my.
Well, I forgot they were playing so many sorry teams this year.
I don't think they're sorry teams. I think. Well,
Hey.
they have the last place schedule. They did get a last place schedule.
Yeah.
Play who you.
But the next team on the list. The next team on the list.
Who you going to go?
Okay. Well, when we do these teams on the list, can we just stay away from the division games because we already picked them pretty much against each other? You know what I'm saying? Those two games.
That's fine, Jerry. You just gotta like.
I got in the division games. I got each of these teams splitting with their division rivals.
Okay, but what he's saying is when we give our totals, he's saying just take all the division games we've already said and transfer them to Pittsburgh now, because when we go to Pittsburgh, we're not going to talk about the division games.
Yeah, that's what I mean because we already talked about it.
What they're going to do. That's what he's saying.
Is that we going to Pittsburgh now?
Yeah, we're going to Pittsburgh.
Okay. I just want to verify. I just want to verify. That's all. Okay.
All right. Here we go. Pittsburgh. First game versus the 49ers. 10 a.m.
Kenny Pickett.
West Coast time.
You guys got
West Coast time.
you got faith in Kenny Pickett. He's going against the Pittsburgh.
Can I please set this up?
San Francisco. Straight up. Let's see what Kenny Pickett can do. Let's see what Kenny Pickett can do.
Okay, can I set it up first before you?
Go ahead.
You try to throw it in somebody's face?
Have
All right.
at it. Have at it.
Here's the deal. I'm going to use Jerry's logic. Because we don't know if the quarterback's going to be week one, I think this is going to be a very good defensive game. I think if you're expecting Kenny Pickett to throw all over San Francisco, it's not going to happen. If you're thinking either Sam Darnold or Trevor is going to throw all over Pittsburgh, that's not going to happen. It's going to come down basically to whether Pittsburgh's defense can stop CMC and Debo versus San Fran being able to stop Pickens, Freiermuth, Washington, who I think is going to have a decent year because he didn't get a touchdown last year, but he had like 130-something receptions. Najee Harris, and the like. Again, Brock Purdy being a quarterback, it's a different outcome. Trevor being a quarterback, way different outcome. Sam Darnold is the intriguing one. In a West Coast offense, Sam Darnold has looked good. He didn't look good in whatever offense he was in the Jets and in Carolina. Well, he did when he had CMC. But when he lost CMC, So I got to go with this. I got to say San Fran's going to win the game because I think Sam Darnold is going to open the season as quarterback as they wait for Brock Purdy. With CMC, Sam Darnold, he knows what he's doing because that's a strong running game. Without him, I don't know. All right, Q, then JT.
I like Pittsburgh getting this game. It's at home. It's in Pittsburgh, right?
No, it's in San Fran.
No, it's in Pittsburgh.
No, you're right. You're right. It's in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that makes a whole difference to me because it's in Pittsburgh. I like the Steelers with the offense. They already know all the players coming back on offense, everything. And then the uncertainty at quarterback for the 49ers. This is the time the only time that the teams are going to take advantage of the 49ers at the beginning of the year. After that, they're going to get rolling. So I like Pittsburgh in this game.
Okay, JT.
I like San Francisco in this game.
How can you say San Francisco? You don't even know who their quarterback's going to be.
I like
That's
San
like you're just saying that any quarterback that starts for them game one is going to win that game. That's ludicrous.
I have more faith.
I have Kenny Pickett's up, bro.
I have more faith in the San Francisco 49ers being able to pull out that game than I do it in Kenny Pickett.
All right, we're gonna.
I think I would like to bet you this game personally.
Do we have action?
Jerry?
What's that?
I think I would like to bet you this game personally.
Head up, straight up?
Yeah, straight up.
No problem. When it happens, then we can make the bet. Because we don't know what's going to happen between now.
No, you just said right now. You said it doesn't matter what quarterback they get. You're taking them to win.
We don't know what's going to happen or what kind of injuries are going to happen.
I don't care about none of that. You just said right now that it doesn't matter who. I asked you, how can you take them with you don't even know what quarterback's going to play? And you say it doesn't matter. You trust them to win the game.
Wait a minute. CMC may get hurt. Who knows? That one of the main players can get hurt.
That's just part of the game. Remember, you even said that earlier. That just happens.
Well, guess what? At the 1st of July, I'm not making any kind of bet.
Oh man, you just made a bet last week.
Hold on.
I'll bet you, but I'm not going to bet you at the first at a matchup of San Francisco against Pittsburgh.
You know what we want to do? Hey, time out. Here's how we're going to do it. All three of us are going to be in Vegas, right? That's the first game of the season, right?
Well, that maybe not. Maybe not. I got things going on. I got an unhealthy wife. Maybe not.
Okay. Well, there goes what I was about to say. I was going to say, since we're all going to be there, might as well do it live and in person. But okay. If it's not going to happen, then okay. All right. Well, Q, I'll see you out there. And
I'm not going to bet you no more on that game because you don't want to take that bet right now. We can't bet it no more.
It's July. Come on, man. This is July. I won't take a football bet like that until
you just bet big last week, 7 points on that other game. What are you talking about?
8 points. Get it right. 8 points. It's 8 points.
All right. You just said I'll take them to beat them by 8 points or more.
He did. You did. And that's $100. And that was just a week or so ago.
You know what? I'll take that bet. Because you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay. Hey, okay. I'll take that bet.
Okay, $100.
What
are we betting on?
$100 on the game. Just money line, straight.
Straight up, San Fran versus Pittsburgh.
Hey, Victor.
Huh?
Stay out of this. It's between me and him.
Stay
out of it. Stay out of it.
I am.
Q.
I got Pittsburgh beating the Niners week 1. That's it.
You got Pittsburgh beating San Francisco. I got San Francisco beating Pittsburgh. No points.
No points. Straight up. All right. It's on.
That is definitely going to be in the new intro when the football season starts. I got so much material right now. Oh, my God.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
Irrelevant.
They're in his feelings, boy. They're in his feelings.
Irrelevant.
There we go. We're skipping the Cleveland game because we already gave our picks on the first Cleveland game. At the Raiders, week 3. Woo!
I'll go first. I'll take Pittsburgh.
I'm just go first because it's your team.
I'll take Pittsburgh. Like I said, I think the Raiders 4 games at most is what they're going to win this year.
And if the don't show up, you might be right.
So I'm hoping they finish with the number 1 or number 2 pick because I'll take either 2 of those quarterbacks. Drake May or the USC guy.
Believe it or not,
So-
I like the Raiders.
I don't believe that. Whoa. I got Pittsburgh in that. Because we don't know what's going on with Jimmy G. We don't know what's going on with Josh Jacobs. And the whole team is in disarray. So I'm not gonna put you on the spot, JT. I ain't gonna put you on the spot.
Houston.
But, excuse me?
At Houston.
Hey, know your role, bro. This is my show. I'm trying to get my stuff out. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm giving my synopsis, and he goes, Houston. I'm like, what? Pretty much, based upon what we've talked about, this I can see where you're going, where the Raiders stand a chance, but it's too much upheaval in Vegas right now that I need to see Josh Jacobs show up because he's already threatened to sit out. If Josh Jacobs sits out, Amir Abdullah is the starting running back? Nah, Slim. Devontae talking about he can't get on the same page with his quarterback if he ain't here. Jimmy G. I mean, Q, you got a point. You want them to tank so you can get Caleb or the other kid. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a lot of frustration in Vegas. But I really, really, really think Pittsburgh's going to win this game just because I think they're the better team. Better coach.
You know how many Pittsburgh fans are going to be in Vegas? Oh, my God. They're going to pack that stadium.
It's going to
I'll
be
tell you what.
Both of them wearing black.
Are you
All
taking,
right.
you taking Pittsburgh or Las Vegas?
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And then we go to the Texans. I know. So I think Pittsburgh is going to come out really hot this year. Really, really hot this year. Like we said about getting Kenny Pickett in the league this year, it might be worth it, at least in the beginning. Until I see what Houston's defense is going to look like, and that offense, I gotta ride with Pittsburgh on this because I think they're just the better team. I hate to see D'Amico go against Tomlinson and hand him an L, but I think that's going to be the case. What you got, Q? Then JT.
I think Pittsburgh defense is gonna make that quarterback wish he was still back in college so early in the season. So yeah, I like Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
That's a tough defense to go against.
Pittsburgh.
Okay. We're skipping the Ravens because we already made that prediction. At the Rams, JT, you up first. Then Q.
Loss. I had Pittsburgh losing that game.
Woo. Okay. Q.
If the Rams don't have their quarterback, I like Pittsburgh, but I mean, I'm taking the Rams because I think it's still early in the year, and the quarterback's going to be there. Stafford's still going to be there. So yeah, I'll take the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams at home. If this was in Pittsburgh, I'd go with the Steelers, but it's at home for the Rams, so I'm going with the Rams. Interesting game coming up. Very interesting game versus Jacksonville. Let's talk about that. JT, you up first.
Jacksonville. Pittsburgh loses that game.
Okay, Q, what you got?
I like Jacksonville. Like I said, I think they're a top 5 team this year, so I like Jacksonville.
I do as well. Calvin Ridley is going to show Mr. Porter Jr. that, hey, welcome to the big leagues, kid. I think that's going to be a really good game to watch. But I think Jacksonville comes out over top. Travis Etienne, watch out for him, y'all. I told y'all last year, watch out for Travis Etienne. Watch him again. All right. Don't shake your head on that. I was right.
Yeah. Trust me when I'm telling you this. Travis Etienne, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. would not touch him with a 10-foot pole this year. Yep, you'll see.
Okay, tell
Why?
me
Just because Calvin Ridley's coming back? But
Travis,
you forget all the other receivers they have, and he loves to throw to the tight end. Like, come on.
trust me when I'm telling you, Travis Etienne will not be all that.
I'm asking you why, Jerry.
Why?
Yes.
Doug Peterson. That's why. He believes in running back by committee, and they didn't grab Tank Peterson for no reason. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you that. He likes running back by committee, and he's going to use Tank Bisbee to do a lot of the work that you think Travis Etienne is going to do. He's going to be running back by committee. That's Doug Peterson's MO.
No, I get that, but he was in the running back by committee last year and still did what he did.
Travis Etienne wasn't all that. He wasn't all that last year. Look what he did near the end of the year. He wasn't all that. Check the stats. With Travis.
Remember, I had him on
He loves the side. He had him on his team.
And he wasn't all that.
But he
Oh, yeah.
was one of the main reasons why I made it to the championship.
He was averaging like 25 to 30 points every weekend.
Because of his receiving threat.
Yes.
Running the ball, he was getting his man, but he was getting more catching the ball. Tank Bigsby can be the hammer. That's fine. But that was what who's the kid they had towards ACL and then they released
Robinson.
Robinson was a hammer at the beginning of the season. And what happened? They let him go.
What year did Travis Etienne do what you wanted him to do?
Last year.
Exactly. Last year and this year are totally different. I'm telling you.
I know that. But what I'm saying,
Travis Etienne is not going to be that.
Okay.
He's going to be a top 10 running back this year, bro.
Okay. No problem.
All right. Let's move on.
Go ahead and draft him. Have fun.
Tennessee, I will. Tennessee, Pittsburgh hosts Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee's going to be worth anything this year. I think they're in a tear-down rebuild phase. I definitely got to go with Pittsburgh on this. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Q, then JT.
I like Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh going against rookie quarterbacks, it's just in their wheelhouse. So I like Pittsburgh.
Hey, I got to get going, man. I got some place I got to be. It took way too long, but that's okay. Enjoy the day. Next Sunday, I won't be here either. I got something to do. It won't be a For No Reason fantasy football show on 10 a.m. Next week's going to be my mock draft 7.0, and then it'll get interesting, very interesting from there. You guys take it easy. Have a good weekend. Have a good 4th of July, and I'll talk to you guys later. Vic, come on, man. A flex. A flex. Any type of flex.
I thought you had to go.
Yeah, let's talk about it before he goes. Come on, bro. We can't have two quarterbacks. We can't.
Not any specific.
Bro, are you leaving or not?
We can't have two quarterbacks, Vic.
I don't care what you're saying right now.
I agree with Vic. I agree with JT. I mean, on this. Come on.
Yeah. A flex is just that.
Are you going to leave or are you going to
you're gonna ruin the league, bro.
A flex is just that. And you get a choice.
A great option.
No.
But you can either pick super flex or you can pick a specific position.
A flex.
Now,
a
since Jerry wants to stay instead of doing what he got to do,
I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later. Gotta go.
I don't think we should do a super flex. I think we should just stay the way we are.
That's why we're gonna have a vote. For those that can
the vote is
understand
if we have
what I want to have.
The vote is if you have a flex, there's got to be a specific position, and a flex is not a specific position.
No. As I said, it's either super flex or no flex.
That's even harder.
Nah, you gotta leave the flex, bro.
Gotta go. See ya.
Yeah,
you can't take.
You think you did, right? he wants to start stuff and leave. See, that's JT. That's JT.
I didn't even say bye to that food.
I knew he had to go. I think he's got a family reunion or something like that. But he up there talking about, I gotta go, but he's gonna throw that in there. Oh, I gotta go, guys. But you know what? I don't want no super flex. Come on, bro. Anyway, I'm not even gonna keep score of our wins and losses.
Yeah, I don't even know where we're at anymore.
We were at Tennessee, and JT didn't give his pick. He just went off. So,
Well, I got Pittsburgh.
all right.
I think
Go ahead.
no, that defense. Like I said, that Pittsburgh defense are going against rookie quarterbacks. It's just a recipe for disaster for them.
Definitely. Then you've got versus Green Bay. I think Jordan Love is going to be a waste. I'm sorry. I definitely got to go with Pittsburgh on this one.
Is this game at Green Bay?
It is no. It's in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh. I'll take Pittsburgh.
All right, we're going to skip Cleveland and Cincinnati because you already had those picked. The Cardinals come to town. Easy win for Pittsburgh. What you got?
Easy win. I mean, you don't even know if the little guy's gonna be playing or not. But yeah,
Oh, my dude, the little guy.
the little guy, bro.
You see how disrespectful you are right now, man.
That guy should have stayed. That guy should have stuck to baseball. He would have been playing shortstop right now
Oh my
for the A's. God.
You're about to get hung up on too. All right. Versus the Patriots.
At New England?
Nah, it's at home.
Oh, it's at home. Oh my God, they're getting how many wins they're gonna have them winning? I'm taking Pittsburgh in this one.
Me too.
Like,
too. I mean,
yeah, you don't even know who
Go ahead.
New England's offensive threats are going to be this year yet. So,
Well, we know Parker's won. They're talking about getting Hopkins and just running the ball. And just running the ball. Mike Gesicki is going to be, I think, their leading tight end threat. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, at the Colts, what you think?
another rookie quarterback. That's what I'm saying. I like Pittsburgh's defense way too much this year.
Me too.
So I'm playing Pittsburgh.
They're going to run up to Cincinnati. And I think Cincinnati comes to Pittsburgh. And, the first game of the season last year was wild. The last game of the season was wild. To me, Pittsburgh's been on a hot streak, but they've been playing bum teams.
Yeah.
That's the key. So I got to give it to Cincinnati on this one.
Yep. I like Cincinnati in this one. I think it's gonna be at that point it's gonna be Joe Burrow time in the year. So yeah.
Yep. We already picked that game already. My bad. I should have went to Seattle. My bad. At Seattle.
At Seattle,
It's gonna be
I like Seattle.
It's gonna be
Yeah, I like Seattle for this one. I like Seattle for this one just because of the home field advantage.
Me too, definitely. All right, it looks like we're going to give Pittsburgh over 10-11 wins. I didn't keep score or tally, but I definitely got them at least 10-11 wins. All right, let's go to the next team. Dun.
Baltimore?
Yeah, let's do Baltimore, and we'll finish up with Cincinnati. I was trying to figure out which one I wanted to do because Baltimore is going to be an interesting team this year. New offense, new weapons, not that difficult of a schedule. Same teams the other teams got to play, but just staggered in different places. They open up versus the Texans. Q.
I like Baltimore. I think the problem that Baltimore had the last year and a half, they love Lamar running so much that they started doing that way too much instead of still having him be a pocket passer. But I think with this new coordinator coming in, he's gonna throw a lot more. So I like Baltimore a lot this year. So yeah, I'm taking Baltimore.
I do too. Just to I guess add to what you said. Georgia was a heavy run team, but it didn't look like it because they just had explosive receivers on the outside. Baltimore now has explosive receivers on the outside. They're going to run J.K. Dobbins, but Odell's going to get his. Bateman's going to get his. And, oh my gosh, I forgot the other receiver that quick.
Rashad Bateman.
No, I said Bateman already. I forgot the kid. Oh my gosh, and I just had him in my head. Anyway, I think he's going to get his. And I think first game of the season, you're going to see Lamar throw the ball a lot. They're going to try to air it out and not make it a slugfest because I think the Texans, if they just run the ball really hard, and their receivers are all like 6'3", 6'4", right? So if Damian Pierce is running hard, C.J. Stroud is not going to have to do much but do play action. So I think Baltimore's going to try to get out, score a lot of points, and make C.J. Stroud beat them. All right, let's move on past the Bengals game because we already picked that. Let's go to the Colts at home. I've got Baltimore winning that game. What you got?
Nice. It's gonna be a blowout. Blowout Baltimore. Come on, rookie quarterbacks. Yeah, that's the thing with this division. Their defense is supreme. All four teams, they have really good defenses, and going against rookie quarterbacks, it's a field day for them. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, guys. I've been up early, like since 4 o'clock. I woke up 4 o'clock for my dogs. But anyway, we're going to skip the next two games because they're division games. Let's go to Tennessee. Again, I don't care if it's at Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee's going to be any good. I got to go with Baltimore here.
Yep, Baltimore rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterback looks like they're catching a break with their schedule this year. So yeah.
Well, in that game, if Ryan Tannehill is out by week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if Ryan Tannehill is out by week 6, then yeah, but I think Tannehill will probably get hurt around that time, and old boy Levis will have to come in. So definitely, I think regardless.
Honestly, I think there's a good chance that Levis beats out Tannehill in the preseason, man. I mean, Tannehill's not that good. He's not a good quarterback. And I mean, I guess that new quarterback, he's got potential, bro. I don't like him personally, but I mean, he was projected to be a top 10 pick. You know what I'm saying? He just ended up slipping, but
by some people, he's good. I knew he was garbage.
I still think Levis right now is a better quarterback than Tannehill. I've never liked Tannehill ever. So
I mean, hey, to each his own. I think Tannehill gives him the best opportunity to win, at least right now. Levis, the reports coming out of camp is Levis is hard to coach, and he's not, making the routine passes look routine. So I don't know. But here's an interesting game. Baltimore hosts Detroit. I think Detroit's going to be one of the more explosive offenses. And Baltimore's defense isn't that good to begin with. But we'll see how better they get. I'm going to go with Detroit on this. I'm picking Detroit. Who you got?
yeah, I like Detroit too because I think coming off of that game against Tennessee, then they're not gonna be focused on Detroit, and I think Detroit will score a lot of points on them. So yeah, I like Detroit.
I agree. Then they go to the desert and face the Cardinals. I think we both agree they're going to beat the Cardinals.
Yep.
Okay. Seahawks. Seahawks come to town to Baltimore, go from West Coast to East Coast. I really wish Jerry was here so he can talk about how he loves Geno so much. But I think Geno has a meltdown in this game. I really do. I think Baltimore wins this game. I really, really think they do. Maybe not convincingly, but they win this game. Who you got?
I like Seattle in this game just because I think that Pete Carroll likes playing against this kind of teams, his defense and stuff and everything. So I like Seattle with the upset here.
Okay, let's get the next two games because it's the Browns and the Bengals. We're going to go with the Chargers at the Chargers. This is an interesting game to me because it's a Sunday night game in LA. I just don't know what the Chargers are going to be this year. I don't know if it's because I don't like Kellen Moore or because we don't know what the receiving core is going to look like. This is tough. I'm going to go with Baltimore to beat the Chargers. I don't think Chargers are going to have a good year this year. I really don't. But what do you think?
I like the Chargers on this one because I think Justin Herbert, he does play good in primetime games. And then this is gonna be a primetime game and it's at home. So I think they have enough offense to be able to outscore Baltimore. So yeah. I like
Okay.
the Chargers.
Then the Rams come to Baltimore. Now, here's the deal. I love the Rams, or I love Cooper Kupp, but I think Baltimore at home is going to beat the Rams. I really think so. I don't see the Rams being able to keep up defensively with the Ravens' offense. If Lamar falls into place in this system, he can be very dangerous. And the Rams doesn't have firepower. I don't think they have it. What you got?
Yeah, I like Baltimore. I don't think the Rams defense is gonna be that great this year at all. I think they're gonna have a lot of points scored on them by almost every team they play. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a high scoring game, but I like Baltimore winning.
Okay, the next three games are going to be critical. They might steal one, but it's going to be tough. They're at Jacksonville, at the 49ers, and home for the Dolphins before the last season of the game of the season versus Pittsburgh. And I'm going to tell you, man, I'm looking at this game. And at Jacksonville, at night, at night on NBC, a Sunday night game. Woo! You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pick Jacksonville. I'm gonna pick the 49ers, and I'm gonna pick the Dolphins. I think they lose all three of those games. What you got?
I think they're gonna lose against Jacksonville, and I definitely think they're gonna lose against the 49ers. But I really think at the last game that Miami's gonna have clinched the wild card spot already, and I think they're not gonna play their starters. So I like Baltimore to get that win the last game. That's how I see it going. But if everybody was playing, that would be hard. I think they might get swept those
I
three
agree.
games
I agree with you on that, brother. I definitely
because they're
agree.
playing elite offenses all those three games.
Exactly. And Lamar's going to have to continue to play at a high level, and the defense is going to have to step up. More importantly,
Yeah.
and that's going to be tough. All right, last team in the division. Washington's going to win the division. Now their schedule isn't that easy, but it's not that hard either. First two games are division games, so we're not going to touch them. But then they get, in my opinion, 3 easy back-to-back games. The Rams, Titans, and Cardinals. I got them winning all three of those games. Home for the Rams, at the Titans, and at the Cardinals.
I have them. I have them losing to the Rams and winning the other two games.
Really?
Yes.
They're going to lose at home to the Rams? Okay.
Yes. Because I think early in the year the defense doesn't play great for Cincinnati. So if Matthew Stafford's playing, I think he can outscore them in that game. So I got the Rams winning that game, but I got them winning the other two games easily.
Okay. Then they host the Seahawks. Now, for me, Seattle's different when they're on the road, right? I do not believe in Geno. And I think Seattle has a good set of corners, but it's three very dominant wide receivers in Cincinnati. The problem is this: I don't know what Cincinnati's running game is going to look like. And that's what we're going to have to beat Seattle, in my opinion. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to Cincinnati.
Yep. I like Cincinnati too. I think this is the time of the year that they start turning it around and playing better ball. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a shootout myself personally, but I like Cincinnati beating them.
Okay, and the next two games are going to be tough, in my opinion, but I'm going to call it now. I think Cincinnati goes into San Francisco and beats the 49ers, and they host Buffalo. And I think Buffalo takes an L. Too many things going on in Buffalo right now. Too many things. I'll be honest with you. Buffalo might finish second or third in the AFC East. But I got the Bengals going into San Francisco and winning, and going in and hosting Buffalo and winning. What you got?
I got them splitting those two games. I have them losing at San Francisco, and I got them beating Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Buffalo. I think Buffalo's gonna take a step back this year.
Yeah. That's a Sunday night game too. Prime time. All right.
Yep.
Then they host the Texans. I don't think the Texans are ready just yet. So I'm gonna give that to Cincinnati. What you got?
Same.
All right. Two division games back to back. Then they come and host Jacksonville. They go to Jacksonville, host the Colts, and host the Vikings. I think they're going to lose at Jacksonville. They'll lose at Jacksonville and win home versus the Colts and home versus the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are going to be any good this year. The sad thing is, I already placed a futures bet that they would win the division. So I can't change it. Without Devontae, and they got rid of my man, oh my God, the receiver that went to Carolina, Thielen.
Yeah.
Addison needs to show up and show me he can step in and be a good number 3 or number 2. Because KJ Osborne is good, but he doesn't stay healthy. And I like TJ Hawkinson already, so that's not an issue. But I got them losing to Jacksonville, but winning versus the Colts and the Vikings. What you got?
I agree with you completely. I have them losing at Jacksonville and then winning the other two games easily. So yeah.
Now they finished out the season pretty rough. Steelers, Chiefs, Browns. But we already did Steelers and Browns. At Kansas City or Burrowhead, they've had a lot of success. In Kansas City, except for the last time they played. I gotta give it to Cincinnati though, because I think they just got their number. They've got Kansas City numbers. I think the receiving core is comparable to any receiving, probably the best receiving core in football right now, and they can put up numbers to stay with Kansas City. So that's my thoughts. What you got?
Yeah, I think they beat Kansas City. I think this is the most personal game to Joe Burrow. You know, he really wants to beat Patrick Mahomes so bad. So I think this is the game that he loves the most every year. And then I just like them winning that game, but I have them losing the game before.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right. And then the last game, who they play?
Cleveland.
Yeah. So I have. Is it at Cleveland?
I just closed it. I think it's at home.
Well, if it's at home, I like Cincinnati. But if it's in Cleveland, I think they will lose.
Okay. All right. It's I believe in Cincinnati. So I'm definitely gonna go with the Bengals. Now, since Jerry's not here, we didn't tally up all the wins and losses. But I believe I have Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh very, very close, with Cincinnati winning the division on that last game, beating Cleveland. That's how close I think it's going to be. But time will tell. My man, any closing remarks on the AFC North?
I think Cincinnati's going to win the division. I think Pittsburgh's going to finish second. I think Baltimore is third, and I think Cleveland's going to finish last. I got to go back and look at those records. I still, yeah,
You gave 10
I think
seconds.
in that order. Well, it's all fluctuating. Depends on what quarterback's playing too for a bunch of those games.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean,
Okay.
I think yeah, that's the order. I really like that order a lot for me. So I think Pittsburgh's gonna shock a lot of people this year, bro.
I do
I
too.
think
I do
Kenny
too.
Pickett's gonna be a stud this year. So
Now we're off of that. Jerry's not here, unfortunately, or fortunately. I'm looking at this fortunately. Let's discuss your issues with the Superflex and the trade addendum. So for the trade, I mean, there were other things I wanted to do, a lot more, but I said, okay, fine, push to the back burner. But for the trade issue, it's either trades go through immediately between the two players with no votes, or the commission decides. But with the commission deciding, I need to hear from other people within that first day. Otherwise, I'm gonna just let it go. I'll be honest. If people don't say anything, I'm gonna just let it go. What are your thoughts on those two? You say I'm crazy. You say I'm trying to ruin a good league. Tell me
well,
what's wrong with those two.
I think about the trades. I really don't have that much of a problem, but I think you personally, you know almost all the people that are in your league personally. So I don't think that people in our league would do just trades just to help somebody out and because they gave up on the year or stuff like that. I don't think that would happen in this league. I don't know. You know them better than I do. But that's why me myself, I think it should just be a trade between the two parties. If they agree to it, they agree to it because they agree to it, right? Unless it's like super obvious that somebody's like doing it on purpose, then I think we should have an issue with that. But other than that, I think we've been playing this league long enough to know that most people just trade what they think is right. And I don't think you should have all the power just to say yes or no, because at the end of the day, you're a human being, bro, and you're gonna somehow, some way, find a look to see how that affects you and your standings and stuff. That's where the issue's at, because we're all human beings.
You saying I have no integrity.
No, I'm not saying that. I say we're all human beings, and go through your mind. I'm not
Oh,
saying you're gonna follow through on it. That's what I'm saying. That's where the issue lays. But if two people just agree on the trade, I mean, they agreed on it. Like, why? Just because somebody else doesn't like the trade, that doesn't matter because the two parties agree to it, you know? And I think that's how that should be. But that's my issue on that. And then on the other one, there's too many people. There's too many. We have too many people in this league to have two quarterbacks, bro. You're not gonna have good quarterbacks by the time you come around to pick a quarterback again. After like 14 quarterbacks, you really don't have good quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, we already have 14 teams, so everybody's gonna get a shitty quarterback.
Well,
Well,
not necessarily. We might. I want 14. I want 14, but nobody. I can't get nobody else, so we might be down to kicking somebody out that doesn't pay on time.
but even if we do 12, that's 24 quarterbacks. There's not 24 good quarterbacks, bro.
But you're only allowed to have two quarterbacks on your team. Period. That's the caveat. I would also adjust the scoring for quarterbacks because I understand right now that QBs are very valuable. Some more than others, but we'll see. I like the idea of having a super flex. Now, on the other token, not having a flex at all and just having one position that the whole league votes on to add, I think that's a good idea in lieu of a flex, if we don't get the super flex. Because now it's like, okay, y'all don't want to have another quarterback, but y'all okay with another tight end. You're okay with another wide receiver. You're okay with another running back. Hell, maybe another kicker, or maybe another defense, or whatever. But it's just a quarterback everybody has a problem with. So now we got that established. Which one of these other categories is more important to you all as a league? The running back, receiver, tight end, kicker, defense, what? Because to me, if I'm saying, all right, I'm going to vote, I don't want super flex, I want a position, then I'm going to think, I want to add a third running back. Why? Because now, most people have third running backs in their flex position anyway. That has a receiving running back or a receiver that gets a lot of catches, a lot of targets. Again, my logic is changing up and spicing up the league because I like change and I like to keep people on their toes so we don't get stale and do the same thing over and over again. So,
well, I think that's fine if you want to do the changes, but I don't think you should say this is what we're doing. You should say these are the changes that are going to happen, but you guys have a chance to vote on this and that. Period.
I agree.
But
put the link out for everybody to come on and have this discussion. Nobody came on. It was just me and Jerry, and that was an interesting show. But hey, I got everybody's attention now, didn't I?
yeah, but I mean, it's fine if you want to change it, but you always have to have us let us vote on what, and then that way people won't feel like you just trying to do what's best for you, because that's what everybody else is gonna feel.
Well, that's why I bring it out. I bring it out. Now, people don't want to pay attention because it's not August yet. It's not, bro. It's fantasy football 24/7, 365. But anyway, okay, cool. Stay on for a hot second after the show because I want to talk to you about something. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a little insight to the fantasy league we're talking about. And you also received our AFC North breakdown. Next week, we already did the AFC South, if I'm not mistaken. No, NFC South. We did the AFC South and the NFC South. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it over to the NFC West. NFC West, next week, we're going to talk about them Giants, the Cowboys, the Eagles. No, I said the NFC West. I'm saying the wrong thing.
NFC West. The Seahawks, the Rams, the Niners.
Yes,
Cardinals.
the Rams, the Cardinals, the Niners, and the Seahawks. I apologize. I was thinking about talking about the NFC East. That's why I came out, because I really want to talk about the NFC East. But the NFC West, Seahawks, 49ers, the Cardinals, and the Rams. Next week, hopefully you guys will be there. If not, it's okay, because we'll be doing it anyway. Any parting words, Q, you got for the people out there?
Nah, I just want to say peace out to everybody. Stay safe this weekend.
Yes, please stay safe, everybody. 4th of July weekend, happy Independence Day. And watch out for those kids in the fireworks. Watch out for them, okay? See y'all next week.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
The other dude's holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not